Hey YouTube family, it's Seeking Mini-Me here, also known as Tiffany, and I'm coming to you with a plastics update. First off, I want to apologize. This camera angle sucks. How I'm holding the camera sucks, because I'm literally holding it in my hand while I'm driving. I can't make eye contact because obviously I'm driving. But things are kind of crazy right now. So I don't really have a chance to update you except for like right now when I'm driving. So I just want to kind of give you guys a quick update on how things have been going. So I had my plastics on October 2nd with Dr. Joshua Halpern. For those of you who don't know, I have had VSG surgery on November 22nd of 2017. And so I'm coming up on my year. My hair looks like a hot mess. I look like a hot mess. I haven't been able to shower in a week. Yeah, it's been fun, but I'm sure you guys don't care. But anyway, so I wanted to give you guys a quick update on how my plastics went. If you want my details in regards to my weight loss and all that kind of stuff, you can check the description box. I usually include it down there. So yeah, I had, like I said, plastics on October 2nd. Today is October 9th, if I'm not mistaken, Tuesday, October 9th, so it's exactly a week since I've had my plastics. And today I actually woke up feeling like a normal person almost. So let me tell you a little bit about what's been going on. So I went in for surgery on the 2nd. Went in at 6:15 in the morning, had, followed all my pre-op instructions, like usual, things like stopping my multivitamin. I did not have to be on any sort of specific diet because I already was eating a high protein diet, so I didn't have to change really my diet. Doctor just said keep doing what I was doing. I was on a high protein diet, getting a lot of exercise. I was doing that cardio with the running and everything, and he said that that's fantastic. Keep up with that. So I really didn't have to change anything in regards to that. I did have to, like I said, stop my multivitamin. Too much vitamin E in it. But aside from that, I didn't have to change anything. Sorry, there's a cop right next to me. I'm gonna bring you guys down a little bit. So yeah, basically that was really all that I had to change. He gave me a multivitamin that he's specifically made for his patients. So it was, didn't have any vitamin E in it, but it still was like a general multivitamin. So I was taking that, before surgery. I started that about 2 weeks before. And of course, I couldn't take any kind of like NSAIDs, like ibuprofen, which I'm not supposed to take after VSG, or Tylenol, or not Tylenol. I could take Tylenol, but I couldn't take any ibuprofen, aspirin, that kind of stuff, because they're blood thinners. But really, aside from that, I didn't really have to change anything. I didn't have to stop coffee until the night before surgery. So that was not a big deal. I only had to stop coffee for a week. Actually can start drinking coffee again today. Yeah, so I really didn't have to do much or change much in regards to, what I was already doing. Went in on October 2nd, early in the morning, got there about 6:15. My husband brought me. And basically went in and talked to the doctor, decided on the size that I wanted. I was kind of told you guys in my last update, I think, that I was up in the air between kind of what two sizes I wanted, between basically a high profile and an ultra high profile, which one would give me full C, small D, one would give me like more of a small C. So I had to make a decision between the size. So I told him that I did decide on the larger one, the full C, small D. And that was pretty much it. He just started marking me up, finding my, symmetry, lining up my belly button, lining up, making sure my nipples are going to line up, where they're going to be lifted to, their size, you know, marking, you know, collarbones, like just trying to make sure everything's symmetrical, drawing, you know, lines and all this kind of stuff, like just all that good stuff. So he, you know, basically sat there and he marked me all up. They weighed me. I was at 123.4, I think. Yes, so I had dropped a couple more pounds than from what my maintenance has been, which I kind of suspected I would because of the challenge I was doing in September. So yeah, all that was good. Marked me up, gave me an alcohol bath. Like, he's all about disinfecting, because I had to take I had to wash the night before with like a disinfecting soap, and then I had to wash the morning of with a disinfecting soap, and then I went there and the nurse gave me like an alcohol wash down, like wipe down, and then Dr. Halpern gave me another alcohol wipe down before he marked me up, or after, I can't remember. But yeah, all that was fine and dandy. Marked up where my incision was going to be, kind of, you know, showed me how much they were going to be removing off my stomach, all that kind of stuff. I think pretty routine stuff for plastics. Then Dr. Feelgood is what they call him, which is the anesthesiologist, came in. The nurse gave me an IV, which was all well and fine. He did tell me to drink juice the night before. He said don't drink water the night before, to actually drink juice, because apparently juice helps make your veins more plump and like ready for an IV, which I think it definitely did work, because typically they have issues getting an IV in me, and the nurse got it first time, no issues, no problem. So I was drinking juice that night before. Yeah, so she put an IV in me. Dr. Halpern came in, did all that kind of stuff that I told you about, and then Dr. Feelgood, which the anesthesiologist, came in and talked to me. You know, just asked some questions about some paperwork that I already filled out, make sure that, you know, everything was lining up, everything was good. There was no issues. An NSV, something that happened, the nurse, when she took my pulse, she, you know, she took my blood pressure, which my blood pressure was good, normal. Wasn't even elevated, which I found kind of funny, because normally I wasn't actually nervous at that point in time, which I find really funny, because typically in that kind of situation, any doctor's office is really, I get kind of nervous, but in that particular situation, like, I wasn't, which I found kind of funny, seeing as how I was about to have like this major surgery. It was like this calm had just kind of come over me or something, I don't know, but yeah, she took my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was normal, and she took my pulse, and she was like, wow, your pulse is really low. And I kind of was like, you know, like, is that bad? And she was like, no, like, low, like, it's good, like, not like low, like bad. She's like really good. You have a really low resting pulse. And she's like, especially since this kind of situation, we expect it to be a little bit elevated because people are nervous and stuff, but yours is even then still pretty low. She's like, that's amazing. She's like, are you a runner? And I kind of looked at her and I was like, yeah, actually I am. I've been, you know, doing a lot of jogging here recently. You know, I want to do a half marathon, and so this whole month I've been jogging, avidly, you know, consistently jogging for long distances. And she was like, you can really tell. She's like, that's typical of somebody who's in great cardiovascular shape. They have really low resting heart rates. She's like, which is fantastic, because that means your heart is working a lot less. It doesn't have to work as hard. It's you know, it's doing its job. It's, you know, getting all its job done, and without having to work as hard. She's like, you know, so that's great. So I just thought that was really awesome. That made me like really excited that, you know, it's me jogging, like me feeling better about myself, me being able to go longer distance, my endurance getting better. Like, it's showing in not only like my fitness level, how I feel, what I'm able to do, all that kind of stuff, but it's also showing in my health. Like, a low resting heart rate I know is, like, you know, a good thing, obviously, as long as it doesn't get too low. But like a low resting heart rate is a great thing. And, you know, that just means that my cardiovascular system is in good shape and is doing better and, you know, is healthy. So just another, like, type, you know, NSV that kind of made me like, oh man, that's really awesome. You know, I'd already gotten my labs done. My labs look great. My PCOS is in remission. My hormone levels have stabilized. You know, I don't have to take medication for that anymore. All that kind of stuff. And then, you know, now it's like, oh, and by the way, my blood pressure had sometimes been elevated here and there, but nothing to the point where they were concerned. But, you know, that's been normal and stuff like that. But on top of that, like, my heart, like, your heart is, I don't know which one you would consider more important, your heart or your brain. They're kind of both up there, but, you know, one of the most important organs in your body, and my heart is, like, efficient in doing its job and doing it well. And, you know, that's, like, one of those things that people just associate with healthy, you know, a low resting heart rate. And it's just, that was really cool to hear. And the fact that she, just by knowing, like, my heart rate, she was able to say, like, oh, are you a jogger or are you a runner? And I was just like, wow, like, just by my heart rate, like, you knew that. So yeah, it just kind of reaffirms that, you know, I'm just where I want to be. I'm heading down the path that I want to head down. Like, I really want to be somebody who's really, like, I want to be a jogger. Like, I want that to be, you know, I want to be in really great cardiovascular shape. You know, maybe strength training will eventually come into that. I don't know, maybe not, but I like the feeling of being able to jog. I like the feeling of being able to go longer and longer distances, and you know, like, I really enjoy that. So that was just exciting, something to kind of be like, to reaffirm that, hey, you're doing a great job. Anyway, so that was awesome. The anesthesiologist came in and talked to me. He, again, you know, just typical questions, make sure that I didn't have any reactions to anesthesia that they needed to know about. The only thing that I've ever really had a reaction to was I get sick from it. So I was worried about that. Dr. Halpern already knew about that, so he had a plan in order, including some anti-nausea medication, and like I think it was a Nexium, to kind of help. And he had me on 2 anti-nausea medications, and I had a prescription for a 3rd one that I could take, and all this kind of stuff. So they knew that, and we're trying to prevent any issues from that. Which I have to say, Dr. Halpern, whatever he did was amazing, because I have never woken up from anesthesia, and especially this kind of anesthesia. Like, I've never been under for longer than, I think most of my surgeries were under an hour. I think all of my surgeries were under an hour. Like, I've had my tonsils pulled, I've had a DNC, I've had a tubal ligation with an exploratory surgery, and I've had a partial hysterectomy. So I've had 4 surgeries, and all of those, and the VSG, sorry, 5 surgeries, and all of those have all been under like an hour. So this was obviously a lot longer. Like, it was going to be about an 8-hour surgery, because I was doing the lift with the implants and the tummy tuck. So he told me somewhere between like 7 and 8 hours. So I thought that was pretty, you know, I was concerned about that. And when I woke up, and I never got sick after waking up, I don't really remember recovery. Dr. Feelgood gave me some feel-good medicine, and I was out. So yeah, I don't really remember recovery. I don't really remember that whole Tuesday. You know, I was in recovery, some bits and pieces from recovery. I know they had a hard time waking me up. Like, I was in the recovery for a while, until it was like, okay, like, you got to get up. They were using like the ammonia things, which I remember bits and pieces of that. It felt like a dream, but I remember being like aggravated because they kept putting this awful smelling thing in my nose, because I just was falling right back asleep, like into like a deep sleep. Like I was just knocked out. But so they finally woke me up and got me moving into the car, you know, with my husband's help. And I kind of remember getting to the car, and then little bits and pieces. I don't remember the drive home. Little bits and pieces of me getting into the out of the car at my house, maybe. And I was pretty much gone for all of Tuesday and most of Wednesday. I don't really remember most of Wednesday either. I do remember being in some sort of pain on Wednesday. It was more uncomfortable. I remember Wednesday night I was becoming a little bit more like lucid, I guess you can say. Anesthesia, I think, was finally wearing off that Wednesday night. And I was definitely uncomfortable. At some point in times there was this like kind of burning sensation that I would, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, give it maybe about a 6, but it wasn't like a constant 6. For the most part, my pain levels were manageable. Like I said, sometimes it would get up to like a 6 or so, but it wouldn't stay that way. At one point I did contemplate taking some pain medication, but I was worried about constipation, worried about getting sick. I was worried about, you know, if I do get sick, throwing up, how that's gonna feel in my stomach, that sort of thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to put another clip. I'm probably gonna put some clips together. Yeah, so I'll talk to you guys later, probably after my appointment. I'm on my way to my appointment to hopefully get my tubes out, so talk to you guys later. Hey y'all, I'm back. So again, sorry for the way, the angle and all that good stuff, but this is what we got. Anyway, so I just left my doctor's appointment. Had my drains removed, which for those of you who are wondering, was not bad at all. Little tiny bit of stinging when she was removing the stitch from my right side, because I had a stitch, you know, to keep the drains in place. Just a little tiny bit of stinging, nothing too bad, but the actual pulling of the drains, barely even felt it. Felt, you know, kind of a little bit weird because I could feel them kind of under my skin, but not a big deal at all. She took out my stitches. The only place I have external stitches is my belly button. So she took out the external stitches of my belly button, my breasts, my stomach, my breasts and my stomach. So my, you know, around my nipple, down the bottom of my breast, and at the fold are all internal stitches. So none of those, you know, don't need to do anything with any of those. In my stomach, there's all internal stitches there too. So I just had tape covering the incisions. I think I have glue on the bottom of my breast. So she removed all the tape, removed, like I said, the drains. Honestly, didn't feel really anything, maybe a little bit of pulling with the tape. Most of my incisions are all pretty numb. My belly button's completely numb. My stomach, the top part of my stomach, all completely numb. The bottom part of my stomach, I can feel that area. So I could kind of feel where the tape was like a little pulling, but it was like, because it was kind of like pulling on hair basically. So I could feel that a little bit, but nothing big. So I don't really know where I left off, but yeah, pretty much I got, you know, a week out, got my drains out. My drainage was all good and everything. No issues with that. I don't really, I'm not supposed to shower for another 3 days. They want my drains to have time, the drain sites to have time to kind of close up before I shower. So I'm supposed to keep those covered, and on Friday I'm supposed to be able to shower. So yeah, if I'm being completely honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to probably try to get some sort of shower in, like even if it's like a shower at a sink or something before then, because your girl needs a shower. but the most important thing is not getting my drains wet. So see if I can figure out something to make sure that I don't, it doesn't get wet at all. Because I don't want to cause any complications or issues. If I can't figure out something, then luckily I work from home, so nobody has to smell my rink behind. I don't have to go into an office, so it won't be so horrible bad. But anyways, so yeah, things have been going pretty well. Like I said, every day I've been getting better. Ultimately, I think for what I've went through and the surgery that I've had, two major surgeries together, I think I've done pretty well. First couple of days were a little bit rough. I was in some pain, but manageable. Didn't have to take my pain medication. Slept through a lot of it, so it wasn't pain that was keeping me from sleeping, so I didn't feel like it was too significant as long as I was laying down in bed and not doing a whole lot of moving and getting up, basically just getting up to go to the bathroom. I was pretty okay. By day 3 I was feeling better, more lucid. I think the anesthesia was coming out of my system. Able to definitely move around better. I could actually get up on my own by day 3 and get to the bathroom on my own. Very slow moving, had to be very careful, but I could do it. It was a lot more steady by day 3. Day 1 and 2 I was very unsteady, so I definitely had to have somebody there with me, because I was definitely a fall risk for sure. So by day 3 I was definitely feeling a lot better. Day 4 even better. 5 even better. I went back to work day 6, which was yesterday. I work from home again. I think I've said that like 100 times, but anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. I still had drains in, obviously, but I was very tired. That's the thing that I can say is, while I was getting better every day and feeling better every day, my chest being really extremely heavy, feeling like just boulders sitting on my chest, like I had an elephant sitting on my chest, really took a lot out of me. I was just extremely tired. It was difficult to breathe. I was taking very shallow breaths, so I had to force myself to, every now and again take some very, some deep breaths. So that really took a lot out of me, so I was just exhausted. I did make it through most of the day. I think I called it quits about an hour early on Monday, and just laid down and rested just from sitting on a desk chair. My back was really hurting and stuff, so I called it quits maybe an hour early. I think if I had to drive, go into an office and stuff, I don't think I would have made it as long. But the fact that I was at home, I didn't have to drive to an office, I didn't have to, walk to it, just a couple steps to my desk and all that kind of stuff, it did make it manageable. So by day 6, I did feel like, going into work was manageable. It was difficult, it was definitely taxing, but it was manageable. Today, day 7, I woke up and feel just about like a brand new woman. Yeah, so my chest still feels kind of heavy, but not nearly as bad as it's been. I can breathe much easier, which has made a huge difference. That whole breathing thing really takes a lot out of you. I have asthma, so I'm kind of, it almost felt like being in a constant state of an asthma attack almost. When you get real sick, for those of you who have had asthma, or if you've just had really bad lung infections, like really bad bronchitis or even pneumonia, it just takes a lot out of you because you have to struggle to breathe. And that's exactly how it felt. It took a lot out of me because it was work to breathe. So when I woke up this morning and there was a great deal of weight lifted off my chest, it's made a world of difference. I feel more animated, I feel more energized, I just feel more like myself. I could stand up straighter. They told me at the doctor's office that I can officially, I don't have to walk hunched over, I can stand up straight, and I think I still am walking with a little bit of a hunch, just a little bit, still kind of slow moving and a little hunched over, just because it's tight and it just kind of feels weird. So I think it's just getting used to thing, but I'm definitely walking a lot more straighter. Maybe not as straight as a board or as straight as typical, but I'm allowed to. I'm able to. So yeah, today is going great. So I'm officially a week out. I'm feeling like a normal human being. I think I'll feel even better when I can just get in a shower. I've taken like sink baths, I guess you can say, it was helpful. I took a pretty good sink bath, I guess you can say, yesterday, and it did make me feel just better. Got to wash my face and all those nitty gritty parts and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely did make me feel better. I think I'll feel a lot better once I can get in a shower, wash my hair and all that kind of good stuff. I want to make sure I'm following doctor's orders and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So if I can't figure out how to shower without getting my drains wet, which I really don't see how I can do. I guess I could do my lower body, like below my drain sites, but can't really do my upper body. But I've been, able to take like a washcloth and kind of wipe myself down and stuff like that, which is helpful. So, it is what it is. My hair, I've just kind of, obviously I haven't done anything with it. I've just kept it thrown up in a ponytail on the top of my head, which is pretty much what I do with it anyways, because you're exercising every day and stuff. It's like too much work to straighten it or style it or whatever, to turn around and mess it up an hour or so later because you're jogging or working out or whatever. So there's that. But yeah, so I don't really know of anything else. I have pictures. I took a couple of pictures today, actually. I had my bra off and my, so Dr. Halpern, I don't know, he doesn't really use compression. I know a lot of other plastic surgeons use compressions, just from following other people. I know that a lot of them use compression dressing, like not dressings, but what they call fupas. Just compression to kind of help with swelling. Well, Dr. Halpern doesn't really do that. I was expecting to get a different garment today that had some compression in it, but I think the garment that they gave me, they were expecting it to be tighter than it is, and it's actually really, really loose. So I'm not sure what that's about. So there's really no compression in the garment that I have been wearing. I knew in the beginning I wasn't going to be wearing a compression garment because my friend had the surgery before me, same doctor, same surgery and everything. And the first week before she had her drains out, she didn't have any compression either. But then they switched her out to something that was more, not like real tight compression, but like kind of like a Spanx type thing. Not like an overly tight Spanx, but a Spanx nonetheless. And, tight material that kind of compress things in. And from what the person that I met with today, the nurse, she said that she, typically my garment that I'm wearing is for stage 1 and stage 2, and it's supposed to be a little bit snugger than it actually is. So I don't know if, maybe I'm just not as swollen as they were expecting or something, because it's actually really big. It's not giving me any sort of compression at all. So she told me, she's like, if you want, you can get something like a Spanx or something, if just kind of hold things in. She's like, you can definitely do that if it makes you feel more comfortable. She's like, or you can just wait to meet with Dr. Halpern, because he's, I haven't met with him yet. He comes back next week. I think he's on vacation. So I haven't met with him yet. So she's like, you can wait to meet with him to see if he wants to put you in something compression. She's like, really, it's just for swelling. Eventually the swelling is going to go down anyways, but you know, it kind of just helps make patients feel a little more comfortable. It's kind of up to me. But anyways, so he's not huge on compression, especially that first week. So with that being said, sorry guys, I'm such a blabber. No wonder why my videos are always so long. With that being said, my swelling is pretty significant compared to what I've seen a lot of other people, because, you know, they're wearing compression garments so the swelling doesn't get too much. So the results that you would see right now are far from what my end results are going to look like. I knew that, and I was expecting that, because I watched my friend go through it. So to be honest with you, it looks pretty gruesome right now. My boobs look pretty bad. My implants are real high. My incisions are, not that they, you know, they're incisions, and my stomach is swollen and puffy. My incision is kind of high because it's swollen and pulling the incision up. I'm not freaking out about it, but I feel like if I post pictures right now, people might think that, like, oh my gosh, like Tiffany got a hack job or something, and I don't want that to like reflect negatively because on my surgeon or anything, because this is not what like my final results are gonna look like. My breasts are extremely high and extremely hard right now. Like, they still have to fall. So they're very like kind of torpedo shaped. You know, I had to have a full lift, so I have a scar all around my nipple. My nipples are like kind of misshapen from the from like the tape and the glue and how they were. Like, they're still not looking normal, I guess you can say. I've got the scar all the way down my bottom of my breast. My stomach, like I said, you can't even really see my belly button right now because it's all swollen around it. My incision is kind of high because the swelling is pulling it up. I was expecting all this. Like I said, I saw my friend go through all this, so I've kind of watched her go through her process. She's like about 5 weeks out now. And the doctor has, you know, had warned me. I've seen other people go through surgeries. I know that it's kind of a big giant mind game in the beginning. And as you guys know, I went through a giant mind game when I had the VSG surgery. So I was really trying to get my expectations where they should be, because I didn't want to see my results and freak out, kind of like I did after VSG. You know, I knew having plastic surgery, there was going to be swelling, there was going to, you know, things are not going to look how they're going to look for a good 6 months probably. So, you know, it's just to kind of sit and wait and see how things fall, see how things look. So I guess part of me is worried about posting pictures on how things look right now because there's so much swelling and there's so much, you know, things just don't, they look like crap right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. Things look like crap. I can see like some big changes. Like I can see like some shape in my, like, definitely some better shape in my stomach and stuff like that, and my waist. But my boobs look pretty horrific right now. But I don't know. I'm not freaking out about it, but I guess part of me is worried that if I post these pictures and like other people see it and they start freaking out or like saying like bad things about it, that it might start to get in my head and play mind games with me, if that makes sense. So I guess I'm a little nervous about like posting anything right now because it looks pretty bad. So I don't know. I'm gonna look at the pictures. I took some pictures today at the office, and kind of make up my mind. I might stick a picture in here. I might not. I don't know. Maybe. But can scroll all the way to the end of the video and see if there's pictures or not. I'm not gonna make any promises that I am or that I'm not. I might end up sticking some up on on Instagram. So maybe even if they're not here, if you follow me on Instagram, you might see them there. Again, I haven't made up my mind yet, but I just wanted to tell you guys that the surgery happened. Everything went well. I feel great. You know, even though I can't really see my results yet, I have no idea what things are going to look like at the end. Everything looks pretty rough right now. I feel good, and I'm really thankful for that for Dr. Halpern. Like, I had a great recovery. The fact that I didn't have to take any pain medications, I think, is amazing. You know, I did pretty well. I'm feeling pretty good. I think all of that is like worth its weight in gold. Now it's just a waiting game. Just gonna wait and let my body heal and see how things go. Yeah, I mean, I've seen his results. I know he does good work. So I just gotta trust in the process. Just gotta, you know, wait and see. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. I'm heading back to work, heading back home to start work again. I'm gonna try to get this uploaded today just so you guys can see me. I'm probably not gonna put any fancy things up there. I'll probably just upload it. But yeah, it's been great. I'm doing great. I'm feeling great. If you guys have any questions or anything that I missed, or suggestions, comments, anything like that, please leave them down below. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey y'all, sorry, I'm back. I actually forgot to update you guys on some stuff. At least I think I did. One of the things is, I told you guys what I weighed, 123. I had dropped some weight. I kind of expected that from my maintenance range because of all that jogging I was doing in September. So I told you guys that, but I also did get on the scale after my surgery. Now, I don't know how much they removed. Dr. Halpern had already told me that he didn't expect much weight because I didn't have it. Mine was just skin. There really wasn't a lot of fat. So he said, you know, we're talking like maybe a pound, if that, maybe 2 at the very most. So it's not like he was expecting to remove a significant amount of weight per se. It was just mainly going to be skin that he was removing. So I didn't get a chance to talk to him afterwards. I don't know if my husband did or not, but so I don't know how much he removed. But anyways, out of curiosity, by day 2, I got on the scale just to kind of see where I was at. You know, wasn't expecting anything really one way or the other, because either A, I knew I was going to be swollen and probably higher than my weight or whatever. I really wasn't, I had no expectations, just curiosity. So I did get on the scale just a couple of days after surgery, and I actually had dropped down a couple of pounds, and I've been staying at like 120, so right around 120. So since I've gotten out of surgery, I have dropped a few more pounds and been staying right around 120. So I found that kind of, I don't know what I thought of that, because I guess I was surprised, because I didn't expect to go down. I guess I expected it to be maybe a couple more pounds heavier because of swelling. I can definitely feel the swelling and stuff. But on the other hand of that, something that I think I forgot to mention that I wanted to tell you guys about, after the surgery, I've had zero appetite. Like absolutely no appetite for days after the surgery. Just yesterday, so about 6 days after surgery, I did start to get an appetite again. So I tried to eat, but my stomach, things just weren't sitting with me right. So I wasn't eating much at all. I was just drinking juice. Dr. Halpern said until I was really eating consistently, because he said that happens a lot after the plastic surgery, just from all the medication and stuff. Most people just don't have much of an appetite, and from the anesthesia. He said to continue drinking juice, because at least that'll be some sort of nutrition, some sort of calories, that type of thing. Don't switch back to water. So I was just basically drinking orange juice and cranberry juice and stuff. So I had no appetite, and even I did start trying to get back and do better and eat better yesterday, but even then my restriction is in full swing, like more restriction than I remember having directly after surgery. It's in full swing. So like I can eat a couple bites of something and it's like, yeah, I'm done. So I definitely feel like I'm dropping some weight, which honestly I'm not too excited about. I really don't for one, it's, you know, recovery, eating high protein. Luckily, I was really eating really well and stuff before the surgery and stuff, so I know that that has helped, but I know that eating high protein after the surgery is also good for recovery and healing and stuff like that. And honestly, I've sucked at it. It's been really difficult. I can drink coffee again starting today because I had to be off a week, so I've been okay to drink coffee. I'm definitely going home right now. I'm going to do one of my protein drinks, and if I have to, I'll do a couple of those a day until I can really get back at it to try to hit some higher proteins. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that's been something that has been going on too. So I found it kind of weird that I dropped weight, even though I think I'm swollen. But on the other hand, it kind of makes sense because honestly, my nutrition has sucked, which I'm not too excited about because I really wasn't. I kind of told you guys I'm not like looking to go into the teens to drop, you know, below like in the 120 range. So I'm hoping things are gonna start getting better, and I'm gonna, you know, my appetite is gonna come back, and my restriction is not gonna be so tight, and I can kind of get back into the normal swing of things and stuff. But yeah, it was just something that happened, and I'm sure some of you are curious about that. I was always curious about that after people's surgery and stuff. I honestly expected my numbers to be higher, fully expecting like, you know, like, oh, I'm sure I'm withholding, you know, like a couple of pounds of fluid or something, and then it came back lower, and I was like, huh, what? So yeah, that was kind of like unexpected. But yeah, so just wanted to give you an update on that. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up again. All right, bye guys.